Hello everyone, this is Pat's Garage. Just doing a video on assembling this Audi 2.7T cylinder head from a C5 Audi Allroad. So basically, what I've done, I've ended up doing a little bit of, not really porting work, but just kind of smoothing out the chambers, getting rid of some casting flash, making them slightly more round. Some of them were a little bit of a lost cause, but yeah, basically a little bit of not really gasket matching because the gasket really extends over to the sides. But yeah, just a lot of porting there. And the main thing was actually in the bowls and just getting the valve seat to blend into the aluminum. That was very time consuming. Not in terms of it like I didn't have to take off a bunch of material, but it was just hard to figure out how to get a smooth transition. Eventually I got it really nice. So, but yeah, basically what I'm doing right now is installing the valve stem seals and then put on some supertech valve springs. This car is like 210,000 kilometers. So the valve springs are definitely getting to a point where like you could risk breaking one if you're beating on the car a ton. At the same time, I do have a Honda with almost 400,000 kilometers and it hasn't broken a valve spring. So it probably depends on, well, it depends on the manufacturer, how good the valve springs are. I know Honda could have just used a better winding, but I've heard some stories about the VW valve springs that occasionally they do fail. So that's why I did end up changing to these. They're a pretty nice valve spring. So they used like a cone or something to put like a tiny bevel on the inside of this. If I had a cone, I'd probably hit it just the tiniest bit more in that corner. But, actually, that's great. So all the valve springs are really nice. These little shims, they do fit over the seats. So I'd recommend not installing them until after you put the valve stem seals in, because there's a little bit of an interference. Like the valve stem rests just down inside it ever so slightly. So if you have this on there before, the valve stem might contact the side like that as you're trying to drop it down, and get in the way of fully seating the valve stem seal. You want the brass, what's called bronze magnesium valve guide to be fairly clean. Like you don't want any oil when you install these. You can have some oil on the actual lip that touches the valve guide, but you want this surface to be clean. Yeah, and basically it's double springs for the exhaust. It also comes with titanium retainers. It doesn't come with the keepers, so you'll need to reuse the factory metal ones, which, in my opinion, are probably a better idea than the titanium retainers. Yeah. I also, I am wary about the quality of these. Yeah, like for really high quality retainers, it's normally about what this kit cost in its entirety. It could be because it's quite mass produced that they're able to make these really cheap because they make a ton for all different like 1.8Ts and 2.7Ts. So that could be the reason why this kit is quite affordable, and maybe it is really high quality, but there was no information really about the grade of titanium. So you're kind of left in the dark as to that. But yeah, it's a supertech valvetrain kit, so it should be all good. I think that's all I have at this point. I'm just going to finish assembling this. I have new cam chains and new tensioners. It's going to have, of course, all new gaskets. And yeah, the valve guide clearance is like perfect, actually. So hopefully the coating, we'll see how much it actually wears. Or actually, I'll probably never see how much it wears. So